Hello and welcome to the second week of my creative journal and what I'm making this week. My name is Rebecca Danger and I am posting my first YouTube video this afternoon, so I'm excited. It's Monday, March 30th. I have my cup of tea in it's going to be a rainbows and unicorns kind of day mug, and I am ready for the week. It's hard for me to be on camera, but I really actually enjoyed taping everything. I guess it's not taping anymore. I'm obviously dating myself. Using my phone to record everything I was working on last week. It's reminding me how much I love sharing creativity and helping other people be creative, and just acts of creativity itself more than, the finished product or the art on the wall in a gallery like I've been doing recently. So I hope you're enjoying it, because I am. So, this one that's going out today is the first one. Today's the second one. So we have lots of room to go from here. I pulled out that rainbow quilt last week on Friday. I showed you that. And, I got that one all pin basted up, and I was looking at projects yesterday in the studio on what I want to work on this week. I really enjoyed finishing up a bunch of stuff that's been sitting there half finished. And so we recorded our second podcast this weekend, which was exciting. And I was saying on there, I have like all these ideas in my head, and this hand gesture has to come with it, because I feel like there's all these fabric ideas flying around in my head. Whoops, I'm pushing buttons, sorry. They haven't quite materialized into something, and I really feel like getting those projects finished that I started, years ago at this point, felt really good. So I was in the studio. I did, I shared what I got done. I was in the studio yesterday pulling some stuff out, and I pulled out a quilt that's been all rolled up, and I had basted it and it was ready to go. And I had been I was working on writing the pattern for it for a quilt writing class. I took a quilt pattern writing class I took online, and that's actually where I met my Zoom friends that I do my weekly Zoom with. I think that was in 2021. I can't remember, but I had decided I was going to do this quilt that was kind of a passion project. I was trying to get it so that it's these big blocks and then also very scrappy, and I was trying to come up with anyway, I ended up doing a couple other patterns instead that were a little bit easier and less passion project-y, so that I just felt like that was the best way to actually get into pattern writing and quilt pattern writing. And anyway, so it's a beloved quilt, and I had basted it, and then literally right after that bought a long arm. I have a small long arm quilting machine. And so then it was all basted together, and I couldn't put it on the machine. And then I knew I needed to machine quilt it. You know how these things go, right? Or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't for you. But for me, I build up a lot of drama around projects in my mind. Oh, I just got a cough, sorry. There, tickle in my throat. It's really easy for me to build up projects and make them bigger than they actually are, and then never come back to them. So I bought the long arm, so I didn't have to quilt on my domestic machine. And then there's this last quilt, and I'm like, oh, I have to quilt it on just my home machine. Ended up never doing it. So I'm gonna go pull that one out today. And back years ago now, I think it was before my younger son was born, and he just turned 12. So probably 14 years ago, maybe 13, I had sewn a hexie quilt with full intention, to the point of buying pearl cotton. I was going to hand quilt it because I'd never done that before. And then I again. I created all the drama for myself, chickened out, and didn't hand quilt it. So, and to this day I haven't, and I've always wanted to. So I think I'm going to hand quilt that quilt pattern class quilt, which is feeling kind of exciting. So I'm going to go in the studio and pull that out. And yeah, my plan for the week is to finish up more of these unfinished projects, and At the same time, yesterday, as I was thinking about it, I overwhelmed myself because I have all these other ideas I want to work on, and it was like this whole internal drama. So I'm coming back into quilting and creating as a whole. I'm trying with a new mindset of no rules. I don't need to establish rules for myself. So I'm going to work on finishing up projects if that feels good. And if I want to jump into something else, I'll do that. So I'll take you with me to the studio. And I was also thinking I'll show you what's on my design walls because I have a bunch of, obviously, because you've listened to me now for a week, you're going to realize that I'm jumping from thing to thing. So I have a bunch of fun stuff on my design walls up. So I'll show you those, I think, this afternoon. And yeah, we'll see how the hand quilting goes. And I'll probably try that in the house tonight. And I'll take you and we'll go get some sewing done. All right, so this is the quilt I'm going to hand quilt. I just rolled it out onto my work table. It's been what I call a quilt worm for quite a while. I used to glue baste all my quilts. Now that I'm back in it, I'm out. I don't want to use the glue. I don't like the chemical stuff. So you can see this has a bunch of my favorite fabrics in it. I just love like this one. It's one of my favorites. And these dachshunds and the octopuses and the lunch boxes up there. I love all of these fabrics so much. But you can see from sitting as a quilt worm for a while, it's got some pretty good wrinkles in it. So I think I'm going to try and iron it. And then when I get started, let's see, I just found it. This looks like the middle seam of the quilt. So I think I'm going to run a nice big stitch line with, there we go. I picked this variegated pearl cotton, and I think it's going to look really nice on there. So I think I'll run it up this seam, do a stitch in the ditch. I don't even know if that's what you do with hand quilting, but then I think I'll do, let's see, like a couple inches lines. I think we'll just figure it out as we go, but straight line with the big stitch. So I'm going to go iron this and see if I can unwrinkle it some. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I thought I would show you my design walls and what are on my design walls. This quilt, this blue one, that's my acrylic paint there to the side. Oh, in my room. This is a quilt that I've been working on for, well, probably since 2015. So 11 plus years at this point. And I just love this big, I think it's a Lotta Jen's daughter, I believe is how you say her name, piece of fabric from an old line. And I wanted to keep it whole. It's a fat quarter. And so I've just kind of been collecting these other blues and what have you since then. So I've just recently made this cute little dachshund on a skateboard wonky star with scraps. And then I added in this 9 patch with a little gnome. I'm into 9 patch right now. And so I'm still not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it, but that's one of the walls. And then the other one, I did some of these paper piece flowers with full intention of having an art quilt done by the time our last art group met, but I didn't get it done. And there's some 9 patches, and there's this weird little wonky improv block I've been working on. I tried to get it on a canvas, that didn't go so well. And then there's some more wonky stars I finished recently, and some scraps I'm gonna put together. I don't even know what's happening with this triangle, but. And then, yeah, I was playing in my scrap bins and did a couple little improv pieces. This piece is gonna be something because I think that's a cool piece. More 9 patch that goes with more improv scrappy blocks, and this cute red one. And yeah, so that's what's happening on my design walls currently. is Tuesday, March 31st. I am on my way out to coffee with an artist friend, and I'm bringing some hexies to work on while I go. I ended up yesterday chickening out on quilting the big quilt by hand. It's like a twin size, it's not that big. So I ended up doing and I took a video of it, I basted a smaller baby quilt. And I decided to tackle that one first before I tackle a whole big one, especially because that one feels kind of precious, the pink and yellow one that I showed you. So I started on it last night, and definitely a little bit rocky at first, and I think I'm getting into it a little bit more now after working on it for a while. So I'll bring it in. It's in the house because I like to work on it while we watch TV in the evening. So I'll bring it in and show you as we go on in the week and show you the progress I've gotten on it. But I'm enjoying it, but I'm glad I started on the smaller project. So I had kind of a weird day in the studio yesterday. I piled up all of the different projects that I have to finish up, and then was like, I don't want to do any of these, and then was like, this isn't even my style, and it was a bunch. So I ended up not doing a ton, and then I finally decided we put up a couple of extra design walls yesterday after I did my design wall video, and I decided I was gonna lay out. I have a bunch of blocks for a log cabin quilt, and I have the backing ready, and I have the binding. I have fabric not ready, but I have it. And I think I'm gonna put sashing between, and but I need to lay the blocks out again. So I was like, fine, I'll video that. And then I totally thought I broke my phone tripod stand. And so I gave up, and I went in the house, and I laid down on the couch with the dog and had like a mini nap. So that made the day much better. And then I jumped into hand quilting last night. So I'm back at it today. I have the whole afternoon set aside for creating. So I'm going to go back out. I'm waiting. I ordered some extra basting pins from Amazon because I used up all the ones I had between the rainbow quilt and the baby quilt. And now I'm thinking about possibly hand quilting the rainbow quilt too. I had some fun lemon grassy green pearl cotton that I was like, oh, that would look really good. So I'm going to see how the baby quilt goes, and then see how the pink and yellow quilt goes, and then decide. So I'm going to let the rainbow quilt sit for a little bit. So I have pins coming from Amazon this afternoon. So I'm just waiting for the Amazon driver. And yeah, maybe I'll start with laying out that log cabin quilt. I could sew the sashing on that one. That would be good. And then I think once the pins get here, I'm going to baste up several different baby quilts that I have, because there seriously are like 8 baby quilts that have tops and backs and are ready to go, and they just need to get done. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll take you with me, and we'll see how it goes. It's interesting when you become aware of it, how easy for me it is to create a bunch of drama around the creating and making. And I tend to be a non-drama person. So at least I think of myself like that. But there's a lot of internal conflict apparently. So maybe I'll work on that. Maybe this creative journal is great for me already, because I'm working through my crafting issues. So, all right, I'll take you with me. Let's go get some sewing done, and I'll check in with you again tomorrow morning. Hello, good morning. It is Wednesday, April 1st. It's April Fool's Day today. I am up and on my way out to coffee with my friend Tom, who I'm doing the podcast with, which the podcast is basically the online version of our coffee talks every week. So it is a very rainy, dreary day here today, but that's okay. It is Washington. I drove myself pretty crazy yesterday. I was not in a very good mood, and I felt like everything I was doing in the studio was a problem. And to the point where I knew I had 3 crib size, baby quilt size battings, and I lost one. And I was out there and I put I have a log cabin quilt that's ready to go, and I had planned to put sashing and borders on it, and I did the math to do all that, and I was like, to figure out what the sashing and borders needed to be, and I was like, man, that's a lot of work. So I may just make it smaller, and then I was like, I don't know what I want to do, and then I laid down for a little bit because the pins weren't there, and the basting pins I ordered, and then they came, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to go baste all these quilts. I'm ready. And I get out in the shop, and I couldn't find, I guess I put one batting, I basted one, and that was fine. And then I could not find the other crib batting, and I know I have it. I know it's somewhere out there. And it's actually pretty organized. I can't believe I can't find it. I've looked everywhere. Mr. Danger was looking too. Neither of us could find it. So I ordered some more, which oddly is coming from Walmart. And I think that I put shipping, but it seems like it might get delivered by a person. I don't know what's happening. So I guess we'll find out later, and I'll let you know. So does your crafting and creating and your making, does it make you grumpy sometimes? Because that's what yesterday was. It was just very grumpy. I didn't, I told you I wanted to get everything done and cleared out so that mental clutter is gone. And I was fully committed to it. And then as I started doing it, it was like, there's so many projects and it's going to take me forever. And then I'm not going to be able to get to the stuff I really am excited about right now. And these are from years ago. I'm not as into them as I was, all of that kind of stuff. And then in that also, it was like, you're not getting enough done and you're just wasting your time. It was a lot. But I have to say, coming then today and talking about it, even though I'm sitting here by myself talking on camera, hopefully somebody's listening. It's actually really helping me realize I don't need to make it. It is the story that I make it, and I don't need to make it anything else than that. And I think if I logically think it through, then it takes a lot of time to be creative, and sometimes you just have to be in the studio and not getting things done. And I don't even need to get things done. I had so much video I took last week that I didn't even use in my YouTube, so I don't even know. Just making so much drama for myself. So I did think about it. I realized my logical brain was saying you should get all of these, or not even, I felt like I wanted to get all those projects done before I start into other stuff. The logical part of me was saying that. But after having a day, and obviously my heart wasn't saying that because I was grumpy as heck in the studio, I decided what I'm going to do is Mondays, or it'll probably be, I think I'm going to try for this afternoon this week because I've decided it and I've started going. I think I will pick one of the half-finished projects each week and work on it Monday until it's done, and then that will allow me the freedom to work on anything else I want to be working on. So that was the decision I made yesterday. I can always change my mind tomorrow. We'll see, which is part of why, maybe it'll keep it interesting for you guys. So I have one baby quilt basted that I will start to quilt on my machine today. That's the plan. And then before I left the studio last night, the hummingbirds are back in our yard. And last year was super wonderful, and I love this house. We're in the woods, we're in nature, we're on about 2.25 acres, and lots of trees, and then we back onto a green belt, not green belt. It's a space that the city owns for water rights, so it can't be developed, so it's just all woods. And so we were out talking to some deer last night. My husband, Mr. Danger, was heading from the shop back to the house, and I hear him talking, and I came out, and I'm like, are those deer still there? You're talking to them? And so, and anyway, the hummingbirds are back, and I love our yard in the spring. It's just, I don't want to be anywhere but in our yard. I know there'll be lots of outdoor crafting this year. And so I decided I'd done some paper pieced flowers that I showed you on my design wall, and I knew I wanted to make them into something, and I decided I want to do some paper pieced hummingbirds. And so I had bought this book recently, the Liza Taylor paper piecing book, and it's got a couple of fun hummingbirds in here. Let's see if I can flip to it super quick. Yeah, this is, I should have marked it. Yep. Well, now I know for the future, if I want to share something, I need to mark it. It's got cute mushrooms. It's got a ladybug, a snail. That's what I'm going past. So it's got two different, there's this little hummingbird in flight, and then there is one on a branch. And so I put the paper, I printed, you can download the patterns, you don't have to copy them out of the book. And so I printed those all out, and they're on my big work table for today. And I think I may allow myself to do that before I start quilting, because I already have put work into the work in progress projects this week, or I might start the baby quilt first. So I'll take you with me, and it should be fun. I think a speed up of foundation paper piecing, or whatever I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. That should be really interesting to see kind of the high speed of putting the pieces down and folding them over. So I think I'll record that and share that with you. And yep, I'll just take you along into my studio and we'll get some sewing done today. It is Thursday, April 2nd. I had big plans for the studio yesterday, and then we went to Costco and it kicked my butt, and I didn't get nearly as much done as I thought I was going to. So my battings did come, and I got a couple more baby quilts basted. And then I ended up working on one of the baby quilts I had basted earlier in the week before I lost the batting. And I worked on quilting it while I was on my Zoom call with my quilty friends last night. So I got it over halfway done. So, I mean, it's a decent amount of work to get done, but I had these grand plans, which, you know, there's that overambitious crafting again. So today I am running up and down the hill to school. We homeschool, but we do a hybrid program, and so we're at school a lot, and they have some of the like not state testing, but one of their testings they do. So we have that plus a club between the two kids, so lots of running back and forth. So I'm going to take the time between car trips and get work done in the studio. I think I'll finish that baby quilting that, and then I'm excited to get onto some paper piecing, although I may want to get the binding done on the baby quilt, so that's done. So we'll see, who knows. It seems like, I was thinking yesterday, my mom used to like to say man plans and God laughs, and then it was really funny. I was thinking of that on the way to the shop yesterday, and then Mr. Danger said it last night too while we were watching TV, and I was like, oh, I was just thinking of that. So we'll see. I'm not going to have plans. We'll just go in and see what happens today. So I'll take you with me, and we'll see what happens. is Friday, April 3rd, and I as annoyed as I got earlier this week for not getting stuff done. Apparently I made up for it yesterday in the studio. I fully finished 2 baby quilts yesterday. I'd started quilting the one Wednesday night and then finished the quilting yesterday morning. And then I ended up putting a binding on it. I made the binding and put it on. And then I started, I basted a bunch more of the baby quilts. I actually went through all 6 of the battings that had come on Wednesday. I thought I'd ordered an extra one, but apparently I couldn't count. So maybe that's where that missing one went, but I still think it's missing. Anyway, so I basted a bunch of quilts, and then I sat down with one of the freshly basted ones and quilted that, and then I decided to add a binding on that, and then I finished binding it. So I brought those to share with you. This is the first one I finished yesterday. It's just a cute little patchwork. These are, I think, probably like a charm pack in 5-inch squares that are finished at 4.5 inches. And then it's got a cute tulipy back on it. And then I went with this cute kind of minty green binding with all the peachy. I thought that was pretty cute. So it's a cute muffling myself with the quilt. It's a cute one. And then I went ahead, so since I got that done, here's the other one. This one's similar, I think also the same size. These might be bigger. Those might be 4-inch squares and these might be 5-inch squares. They're close enough I'd have to get out a ruler to figure it out. Okay, that looks right. So this one's got a bunch of cute reds and greens and orangey, and then I did that cute stripey binding. And then it's got this really cute, I think it's gingerbread is how I don't know. It's got a bunch of that in it too, and then some ruby star. So I'm really pleased with how that one came out. And then I brought my hand quilting that I've been doing this week on this baby quilt over from the house to share with you. So I did not get very far on it, but to be fair, looking at it, it's pretty densely quilted. There's a lot of lines on it. See, can you see? Yeah. So I got, that's about the center, and I got almost, I got a ways to go. You can see what's unquilted versus what's quilted. So I ended up doing 4 different colors in it. There's a light peachy. Oh, you can't see that at all in there. And then this is a, nope, and a yellow. Anyway, you'll have to trust me. And then I did a white, a creamy white, just in the ditches, in the seams. So you can definitely see improvement from here stitches to there stitches. I'm getting more comfortable with it, but I'm not very fast with it yet. I'm still kind of unconfident. I wanted to show you, I made sure to bring this too, because I do this with my knitting needles too. Where'd you go? Apparently I'm very intensely quilting because, can you see that the needles, it's bent, it's not straight. So, yes, apparently there's some intensity to my quilting. So, it's Friday. I have like 4 or 5 more baby quilts sitting there ready to quilt, so I'll probably start quilting on those. And then I was thinking, I'll just quilt them all and then I'll do all the bindings, but I have to say, finishing the binding on that second one yesterday, I really like that, because then I actually have a finished quilt and one more unfinished project finished. And so I think I'm gonna go start on some more quilting. I'll take you with me, we'll see what I get done. I'll start on some more quilting, and I think that's what I'm doing for now. Because again, I thought, I'm gonna do one baby quilt and then I'll start on the paper piecing. But now that they're sitting there and ready to go, I'm like, yes, let's get those finished. So it's interesting to like document my mood and document how my creating is, like ebbs and flows during the week. So yeah, that's been interesting this week for me to do that. I am aware-ish, I guess, but it's making me think about creating differently, which is really lovely. Hopefully you're getting something out of it too. And it's making me think about how I think in a lot of ways I come into my studio to be, that's the place I'm in control, because life is so out of, like, we're not in control of so many things, even if we think we are. And, you know, and maybe that's the lesson I need to take away. But it does seem like when I wasn't in control, when I didn't have the battings, when I wasn't able to sit down and make how I thought I wanted to be making, my mood definitely dipped. And then as soon as I was back in control and doing what I thought I was going to be doing, my mood went back up. So yeah, just an interesting thing. Might touch back on that later, but this will be the last video for the week. I'll put in a couple more clips of sewing, but I hope you guys have made something fun. I'd love to hear what you're working on too. And oh, as the first video has gone up, wow, you guys have had an amazing response, so thank you. I have way more views, and I don't know what all the analytics are, but watch hours and whatever is way higher than I anticipated. So thank you for the support, and I'm looking forward to doing this weekly. I think this is good, even just as a check-in for myself. And so I will show you what I work on today, and then I may get a little bit more done over the weekend, but tomorrow we're recording our podcast, and then Sunday's Easter, so we'll see. I might sneak out here a little bit. So that's it. Let me know what you're making in the comments, and I'll see you again next week.